Think back to the last time you traveled somewhere new. A city you had never visited. A country where you did not speak the language. A road trip where every turn revealed something you had never seen before. Now think about last week. The same commute, the same office, the same meals at roughly the same times. The same Netflix show falling asleep on the same couch. Here is the strange part. If I asked you how long each one felt, the week of travel would feel like a month, and the month of routine would feel like a week. This is not an illusion. This is a documented feature of how your brain processes time. And once you understand it, you can stretch your life without living a single extra day. In the early 2000s, neuroscientist David Eagleman at Baylor College of Medicine began investigating something that had puzzled psychologists for decades. Why does time seem to speed up as we age? Eagleman suspected the answer was not in clocks but in memory density. He designed an experiment that was brilliantly simple and slightly terrifying. He had participants free fall from a 15-story drop tower into a safety net. Every participant overestimated how long the fall lasted, some by as much as 36%. 2.5 seconds felt like 4. Why? Because during those seconds, their brains were recording everything. Your brain measures time by how many distinct memories it lays down. Novel experiences create dense memory files. Routine experiences get compressed into summary files, labeled nothing new here. When you are a child, almost everything is novel. Every day writes new chapters. By the time you are 40, most days are repeats of days you have already lived, and your brain has learned to stop recording them. The feeling that your life is speeding up is not an inevitable consequence of aging. It is a consequence of how many days you have allowed to become identical. Number 1. Inject novelty into the ordinary. Take a different route to work. Eat something you have never eaten before. These micro-novelties interrupt the compression algorithm. Number 2. Seek out first times. Try a new skill. Start a project in a domain you know nothing about. Every first time is a high-resolution memory file that stretches your subjective lifespan. Number 3. Stop letting days default. At the end of every day, ask yourself, if I looked back at this day 1 year from now, would I remember it? If the answer is no, tomorrow needs to contain something worth remembering. The research is clear. Time is not speeding up because you are getting older. It is speeding up because you stopped giving your brain something worth recording. The only question that matters now is what you do with today. This is the core mechanism. Your brain does not measure time like a clock. It measures time by how many distinct memories it lays down. Novel experiences create dense memory files. Routine experiences get compressed into summary files, labeled nothing new here. When you are a child, almost everything is novel. First day of school. First bike ride without training wheels. First time tasting something sour. Every day writes new chapters. By the time you are 40, most days are repeats of days you have already lived. Your brain has learned to stop recording them. A 2016 study out of the University of Kansas confirmed this with a different approach. Researchers asked participants across different age groups to estimate the passage of time. The result was a near-perfect curve. The older the participant, the faster time seemed to pass. Not biological aging, not some clock in the brain running faster, memory density per unit of time. Here is the part that should genuinely change how you live. The feeling that your life is speeding up is not an inevitable consequence of aging. It is a consequence of how you are living. Specifically, it is a consequence of how many days you have allowed to become identical. If you live the same day 1,000 times, your brain records it once. One memory file. 1 day's worth of subjective time. If you live 1,000 different days, your brain records 1,000 memory files, 1,000 days of subjective time. Same objective calendar duration, completely different subjective lifespan. This is not philosophy. It is neuroscience. The length of your life, as you actually experience it, is not determined by how many years you live, but by how many distinct memories you create. So what do we do about this? If the mechanism is memory density, how do we increase it without quitting our jobs and traveling the world? Here are 3 things that actually work, grounded in the same research. Number 1. Inject novelty into the ordinary. You do not need to fly to a new country to create new memory files. Take a different route to work. Not once, regularly. Eat something you have never eaten before, once a week. Use your non-dominant hand for a simple task. Brush your teeth with your left hand. Walk around your neighborhood and actually look at the houses instead of scrolling through your phone. These micro-novelties are enough to interrupt the compression algorithm. Your brain notices the difference and records it. Number 2. Seek out first times. Eagleman's research showed that the brain records first experiences at the highest possible resolution. First time seeing the ocean. First time eating a particular cuisine. First time hearing a piece of music that moves you. You are not limited to the first times of childhood. You can manufacture first times on purpose. Try a new skill. Start a project in a domain you know nothing about. Have a conversation with someone whose life is completely different from yours. Every first time is a high-resolution memory file that stretches your subjective lifespan. Number 3. This is the most important one. Stop letting days default. The reason your brain compresses routine is not that it is lazy. It is that routine is efficient. Your brain evolved to conserve energy, and recording the same thing over and over is wasteful. So it stops. The only way to override this is to make a deliberate decision about what kind of day you want to remember. At the end of every day, ask yourself one question. If I looked back at this day 1 year from now, would I remember it? If the answer is no, then tomorrow needs to contain something worth remembering. Right now, somewhere in your future, there is a version of you looking back. That version is asking the same question everyone asks eventually. Where did the time go? The real answer, the neuroscientific answer, is not that time went anywhere. It is that it was never recorded. Those years were compressed into a handful of summary files labeled same as yesterday. They passed through your life without touching your perception of living. But that version of you does not have to look back with regret, because now you know the mechanism. You know that novelty equals memory density equals subjective time. You know that you can stretch a month into what feels like a year simply by living it differently. The research is clear. The mechanism has been mapped. Time is not speeding up because you are getting older. It is speeding up because you stopped giving your brain something worth recording. And the only question that matters now is what you do with today.